Lindsay Crosby. I'm going to ask the question. Is Bo Nix elite?
I think at this point in time, right now, you have to say he's one of the better quarterbacks in the SEC.
I would put him as the third best quarterback in the SEC right now.
Okay. Who do you have in front of him?
Bryce Young and Corral.
Yeah, it's hard to argue with that, especially watching, Matt Corral make it happen on Saturday against Tennessee, watching Matt Corral a little bit against Arkansas in that shootout they had 2 weeks ago. Hard to argue against that. Bryce Young, I'm on that train of I don't think Bryce Young is as good as everybody says he is, simply because he has so many NFL guys around him that we just, until proven otherwise, we have to assume he's good, but I don't think we actually know that for a fact. He hasn't really been challenged. The only game they lost, arguably they lost because of the defense, not because of the offense. So, but yeah, Bo Nix right now has to be considered the third best quarterback in the conference, with the possibility of going up if Bryce Young stumbles a little bit. I do think Matt Corral probably is better than him. The question I have for you now, based off of Bo Nix being elite, and all offseason, I've been saying one way or the other, I thought this was the last season Bo Nix is going to be the starter at Auburn, simply because if he was good, he'd leave and go pro. If he was bad, Harsin would make a move to put somebody else in. Does Bo Nix stick around for another year if he plays like he did against Arkansas and like he has to this point in the season?
I think so. Because I don't think he's quite good enough to get drafted high, like where he would want to go.
Right.
But I think if he puts a full season's worth of tape like he did against Arkansas, heck, and maybe if he plays like he did against Arkansas or LSU for the rest of the season, or even Georgia, I don't think the NFL is going to fault him based on how he played against Georgia with all those drops. But I think if he continues playing like this for the rest of the season, he may have enough stuff on tape where NFL teams may be interested. I don't think so.
Right.
But this could be a best case scenario for Auburn, where Bo Nix finally hits his stride year 3. And he's like, no, I want to do this. And maybe, and we're going to talk about Auburn's chances in the SEC West in the final bit of today's show, but he may get so close in the Iron Bowl where like the Iron Bowl sets up as an SEC West championship game. And, he may want more of that and choose to come back and kind of look at this team. And it's like, all right, I'm losing the offensive line, but that's it on my offense. Both running backs are coming back. All the receivers other than Demetrius Robertson are coming back. Like, there's a lot to like about Auburn's offense next year if Bo Nix kind of keeps this trend going. So I think with him being a top 3 quarterback in this league, Corral will be gone. He'll be the number 2 guy. The state of Alabama will have the 2 best quarterbacks in the SEC if he chooses to come back. So yeah, I think Bo Nix is in the best situation he's been in while here at Auburn. And man, what a pivot from a guy that, a few weeks ago got benched against a nobody. And, people were asking, is he going to start at LSU? And then he has the best game of his career at LSU. And then I think he handled his business fine against Georgia. I know a lot of people still think he threw the ball too hard, which I think we saw yesterday is ridiculous. And then what he did against Arkansas. There's a lot to like about where Bo Nix is right now.
The book on Bo Nix before the benching was Bo Nix is a quarterback that's too inaccurate, that bails from the pocket too much, and can't make it happen on the road. And ever since he got benched, he's made it happen on the road.
Yep.
He stayed in the pocket when he's needed to and only escaped when he had to.
Right.
And he escaped to keep plays alive and to get the ball downfield. And his completion percentage, or adjusted completion percentage in the case of Georgia, has been high 70s, low 80s in every game since then. And so he's taken all of the major knocks on him and fixed them. And kind of like you, I think that he did it late enough in the season where there's probably not going to be enough on tape for him to be confident he's going to go in the draft where he wants to go. And so there's a very good chance he comes back for next year. There's a very good chance that he sticks around. I don't know how many of the offensive line guys are super seniors versus guys who could use that extra year and come back. But either way, we do have some bodies there, probably could get a transfer or 2 coming in. And I do think this sets up well for Bo coming back to make one final push next year And if he does, you have to assume Auburn's going to be one of the preseason favorites to win the West, along with Alabama, obviously, because it's Alabama.
Sure.
And would definitely be in contention all season for the SEC championship and a chance at a playoff spot.
Right. And I just think the national narrative around Bo Nix has shifted. I mean, going into the season, and even after Georgia State when he got benched, he was seen as this inconsistent, you never know what you're going to get type of player. And now, I mean, you heard it in the broadcast yesterday. People are talking about him as he's the magician Bo Nix, because he can kind of work out magic at any given play.
Bocephus football.
Yeah. The narrative about Bo Nix is totally changed. It's totally shifted. And I think that's something that Auburn fans have kind of know. I think Auburn fans are kind of in the middle of it, right? They're seeing every stage happen so slowly. But I think if you zoom out, and I'm going to try to do this throughout the bye week this week and have some national writers or conference wide writers talk about it. But I think the narrative's changed about Bo, and props to him. And, you know, the mental toughness that it takes and the mental toughness of this kid to ignore all of the crap happening outside of the locker room is awesome. And all these narratives about how, you know, the team doesn't like Bo Nix, like we've heard that from Chandler Wooten. I mean, we all saw his face. That's the perks of these interviews being on YouTube now, where it's like you see him smiling, the team captain, the leader of this football team, voted by the team, Chandler Wooten. These guys love Bo, and just seeing them get excited and all of that whenever he succeeds, I think we can put this narrative to bed. So I think Bo is the third best quarterback in the conference right now, and he has a chance to go up against the best quarterback in the conference in 2 weeks. And Auburn fans should like this SEC West showdown that's about to be brewing, especially because Ole Miss has to play LSU this weekend. And look, maybe LSU is rebounding. Those guys will do anything to fight for Ed Orgeron, and they somehow beat Florida, which is crazy.
Wow.
So, you know, maybe they give Ole Miss as much of a run as they possibly could, while Auburn's sitting back, recovering, watching tape, prepping for Ole Miss. Auburn's in a good spot, because I think if they beat Ole Miss, they can beat A&M. And I know people want to act like Mississippi State's relevant. I just have a hard time respecting them as a team. And then South Carolina, they beat Vanderbilt by like a point or something, if I recall. So it took like a last second thing. So it's just, this is a good situation for Bo Nix and the Auburn Tigers to be in.
Yeah. This is everything we could have hoped for and more, I think, in year one of Brian Harsin. I mean, we saw predictions all over the board. We saw people thinking 9-3. We saw 10-2. We saw 5-7 and 6-6.
Right.
And like I pointed out in last week's show, to be at this point of the season, to be in contention to win the division and, and compete for the conference championship, that's more than you could ask for in year one with a brand new everything, a brand new brand new coordinators, brand new head coach, a quarterback who coming into the season, we didn't know if he would even be the starter or not. This is everything we could have possibly wanted, and Auburn fans should enjoy this. You should savor this bye week. Go do something fun this weekend, and let's get ready for Ole Miss, knowing that we control our own destiny from this point forward.